Hi guys, this is going to be just kind of a general FYI. I know there's a lot of cat and dog owners out there that have shedding problems, and a lot of the times it is caused by multiple things. Sometimes it can be due to a food allergy, so something that is within your pet's food that is causing them to have some kind of allergic reaction, which will usually result in shedding, along with a lot of scratching and red irritated areas, hot spots a lot of times is what they're called. But also there's just sort of general shedding that a lot of animals do where they don't do excessive itching or scratching, but they are losing a lot of fur. And that a lot of times is due to a lack of fatty acids within the animal's diet. And a lot of this is going to depend on what kind of food that your animal is eating, and part of it is based on what breed of animal you have, but most of it's going to be what you're feeding your pet. Generally, lower quality foods, you're looking at generally anything you see advertised on TV. A lot of times they are spending more money on their advertising than they are on quality ingredients, and a lot of brands will try to tell you, excuse me, that corn is not a filler. I know Eukanuba does this. Science Diet uses a lot of corn. Corn does have some value to it, and I'll get into this more in another video in the future that's more on nutrition. But for the most part, dogs and cats are going to be getting most of the nutrient values from corn, the protein source, the meat source that's within their food. Because when you think about it, and this is especially true for cats are carnivores, and they don't need to have certain kinds of grains in their diet, and a lot of times that's actually what causes allergic reactions to foods. Certain forms of corn are going to be beneficial because they are going to provide energy for the animal, but the majority of the time corn doesn't really do much for dogs or cats. It's essentially put into the food to fill up the bag in a sense, and because the animals aren't going to utilize it like they would some of the other ingredients within the food, a lot of times the corn just passes right through their system. So in a sense, a lot of times with those what we call grocery store brands, you end up actually paying for your animal to let it all out in the end, to put it delicately. So it's going to depend greatly on what you're feeding your pet. A lot of the times the grocery store brands aren't going to be the greatest quality, and there's a lot of people that are surprised to find out that the brands like Eukanuba, Science Diet, Iams, a lot of the Purina products really don't have the greatest quality of ingredients in them, and a lot of it's going to be because they're using corn, wheat, soy. There's a few other ones that are in there, but a lot of the times those ingredients are what's causing problems in animals that are having allergic reactions. And where I work, I see a lot of people coming in that are complaining about their animals having allergies or just really bad shedding. And I typically recommend doing some kind of a natural, organic, or holistic formula for them. And I would say probably 9 times out of 10, they come back in within a matter of a few weeks to a month or two, and they are just extremely satisfied with the change in the food. Mostly because it cuts down on the animal shedding, because those kinds of foods are going to have the proper amounts of the omega-3 fatty acids within it that's going to help keep the animal's skin hydrated from the inside. That's essentially what the omega-3s and fatty acids are for, is to sort of condition the skin and the coat. And a lot of the times when the body is lacking those elements, it allows the hair follicles to sort of be released from the skin. So when the skin is properly hydrated, it's going to hold the hair within much more sufficiently. So you usually want to find something that is going to have a decent amount of that, and actually the most potent source of it that I'm aware of is actually salmon oil or fish oil, but salmon's probably one of the strongest, and that's actually why a lot of the times you hear that people should be having salmon oil. That's good for you. And there are supplements that you can do for dogs and cats as well that will have phenomenal results. I know that my brother and his girlfriend, their 3 cats have, well, the one cat in particular, had a lot of shedding problems, and I've had them put the cats on the salmon oil, and they've seen a pretty big difference with the shedding before and after. So you've got a couple of options with that. One is you can try switching to a food that's going to be more nutritionally balanced, I want to say, but also has higher quality ingredients. Or you can try doing a supplement, or both. But when it comes to dog and cat food, I know that a lot of it out there is expensive, and a lot of people prefer to go to places like Walmart and Target to get the foods, but you have to think of it this way: you're getting what you pay for. Generally, if you go with a food that isn't nutritionally complete, the animal is going to eat more because they're not getting essentially what they need in a smaller amount. So they have to eat more food to get what their body needs. And in that case, you're going through the food faster, you have to buy it more often, and honestly, the animal has to go outside. So you have to clean up after them more often than that. And a lot of the times, what they're lacking in their diet can cause problems with different functions. So even though if you go with a private brand, the prices are pretty comparable depending on the brands you go with, but if you go with a private brand, a lot of the times it might be a little more expensive by, let's say, between $5 and $10 more per bag, depending on the size of the bag you go with. It may be more expensive up front, however the bag lasts you longer. The per unit price of a higher quality food versus the grocery store brands. The grocery store brands are actually quite a bit more expensive because you have to buy them more. So I'll definitely get into some more detail on that information. I'll kind of go over some basic stuff with you guys on it. But if you guys have any questions at all, definitely let me know. I don't know 100% about all the animal nutrition. I'm still sort of in the learning process myself. But if you guys have any questions, definitely, leave a comment, send me a message, and I will do my best to answer them for you. Other than that, if you guys have any requests for focuses for different videos, go ahead and let me know, and I will see what I can do. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Peace.